Hey, Midnight Sun here. We're doing Challenge Rift 432. This is the America version first, and it looks like we got a wave of light set up. Now, the important aspect of this wave of light is that everything here is going to be boosting wave of light for the most part. Unity is going to be a no help whatsoever because the follower doesn't have a Unity on us or on them. And we're also not benefiting from the Legacy of Dreams despite it having a really high rank here because we do have a 2-set bonus, so the Legacy of Dreams isn't going to be any help. We do have a Bane of the Stricken, so that's going to help out with multiple attacks. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that we are utilizing a, let's see here, it is an Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, which reduces the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit with a resource spending attack. Now, the goal of that is to reduce the cooldown of Epiphany to always have Epiphany active. Because we have the Stone Gauntlets, which getting hit increases your armor by 50%, but it reduces your movement speed by 15% and attack speed by 20%, stacking up to 5 times. Now, this means that if you're going over to fight enemies and you don't have Epiphany active, as soon as they hit you, then you'll sit here and struggle to get out a single wave of light because it cannot get out with the attack speed reduction. So to get out of that, we use Epiphany. Now, when Epiphany is active, if we're attacking, notice how Epiphany's cooldown is going down. So this is going to reset the cooldown of Epiphany while we're constantly moving throughout to the area here. Now, as you can see, it doesn't get entirely through even with constant attacking. So we have to be a little careful of that. Something else to keep in mind is if we do a Dashing Strike and then we start doing this, it's resetting the cooldown of Dashing Strike here as well. So that means that if we are Dashing Strike all over the place and we have Epiphany active, what's happening is only one of these is getting its cooldowns reduced, while Epiphany is not. So with that being said, we're going to want to try and use Wave of Light, which does not have a cooldown to teleport around all over the place. Wave of Light, when we use it, is also boosting our damage as well. So that's what we're going to try and keep in mind. Keep in mind as well, if you use Mystic Ally, it's also got that cooldown on there. Now, Mystic Ally is used to reset our spirit cost, which means that as we're constantly attacking, we're going to be draining of our spirit, hit a Mystic Ally, and we get all of our spirit back. So that's when we should be activating Mystic Ally. So with that being said, we're going to get right into it. Now, this build is a little squishy, so keep that in mind. We're going to start by spamming our Wave of Light right off the bat here. And then again, we're going to try not to teleport too much because we want to be kind of implosion all over the place. So we're going to try and utilize that the best we can. And if we are not active with our Epiphany, we want to try and maintain a bit of a distance. Otherwise, right there, we see that we got that slowed down. So we're going to reactivate the Epiphany when we get the chance here. This is going to be a huge boost in damage for us here. So this area here is going to be pretty deadly. Just make sure you're targeting the elites right off the bat here, and then move forward. We're going to let the lightning do most of the work when passing through here, hitting with a couple waves of light. And then we can Cyclone Strike out of here if we need to. Our Wave of Light is now back. We're going to save it for when we get down here. Activate this, that, Explosion, and then Epiphany. Should say that we're activating our Dashing Strike there. That's what we just did. And then again, we're going to be kind of Implosion, using that throughout. Here's another dangerous area. Try and attack from a distance here if you can, because you don't want to get stuck with the attack speed reduction there. You can activate Wave of Light again. That was our Implosion that just teleported us forward there. We're going to be utilizing that the best we can. We got some more elites here. Try and attack them while Wave of Light is active. Right there, you see I lost it here, so I might die in a second. I'm going to try and reactivate. There we go. Got it reactivated in time. And did I miss some elites over here? It looks like I did. I didn't see these my first time through. Make sure you get those. All right, we're going to try and create a bit of an exit for us if we can here. Our Epiphany is active again, so we can utilize that. Implosion onto them, hit them with Wave of Light, and then dip straight out. As long as we're Implosion moving forward, we shouldn't have too much of an issue here. And we should be able to reset our Wave of Light relatively easily, or my Epiphany. I died there because I was a second too late on activating that. I'm just going to move forward to where the elites are because it's better to take them out. And previously, I was able to complete this while dying several times. So you shouldn't have too much of a difficult time completing this. But just keep in mind of some of those kind of pressure points or areas where it looks a little deadly. So I'm going to try and do my best here to stay alive. And in order to do that, I need to run away for a second. Reactivate my epiphany, please. Thank you. My epiphany's active. All right. An implosion all over those guys. Like right there, that was obviously a danger area. Killing a lot more this time through, and it looks like we got plenty of time left. And if you aren't aware of the Obsidian Ring of the Zuldak's cooldown function there, you're going to be struggling to activate Epiphany the whole time here. So that's something to keep in mind. There we go, Epiphany again, Implosion, and then we hit them with Wave of Light. And you could just hold down Wave of Light too, you don't need to recast it. Now something to keep in mind here, since we're close to the Rift Guardian, is we're going to try and make our way to another pylon while reactivating our Epiphany. All right. See if we can get there in time. Okay, there we go. So here's where I'm going to activate it. This should carry through to the Rift Guardian here. So I'm going to hit with a couple implosions and then hold down that Wave of Light. And the Bane of the Stricken is going to carry through all that damage there. Finished that pretty quick. Let's see, some other people got some really fast times here in the 3-minute range or so. 409 isn't that bad, it looks like. We're over here in 24th place. 1 or 2 more optimal runs through there and we could probably do a little bit better, but that was a quick explanation. I'm trying not to over-explain every fine detail and just give you what is needed to complete it. So let me know if you guys would like more explanation or if this is kind of a fine way of doing things. But hopefully this helped you guys out, and stick around later for the EU version. Hey, welcome back, Midnight Sun. This is Challenge with 432, and this is on the EU server. We're utilizing the Sunwuko set. The important aspect of this is that your damage taken is reduced by 50% while Sweeping Wind is active. Every second, Sweeping Wind spawns a decoy next to the last enemy you hit that taunts nearby enemies and then explodes for 1000% weapon damage for each stack of Sweeping Wind you have. So the more stacks, the more damage. And Lashing Tail Kick, Tempest Rush, and Wave of Light have their damage increased by 1500% for each stack of Sweeping Wind. So Sweeping Wind is going to be the important aspect here, and this build boosts Sweeping Wind a lot. We're also utilizing a Taeguk and a Bane of the Stricken and a Bane of the Trapped. And we also get Sweeping Wind gains 2 stacks every second. It does not deal damage to any enemies. So all we got to do is walk into the area here and hit Sweeping Wind once, and then we can build up some stacks by hitting them at least up to 3 times. And then we're going to kind of constantly just tap our Tempest Rush as we move through. So that's going to reactivate the Sweeping Wind stacks here. And once we have a high boost of damage here, the Sweeping Wind is going to constantly deal damage around us. We don't need to do anything else other than maintain the stacks. If we use Blinding Flash, we're going to deal more damage. So we're going to save that for elites. And our Breath, or our Serenity here, is going to be used to keep us alive if we're about to die. And our Epiphany is going to be used for a big damage boost as well. So we're going to activate Epiphany right off the bat, hit our Sweeping Wind here to gain a couple stacks, and then just kind of tap it, tap our Tempest Rush as we move around here to all of these enemies, and they should just die here in a few seconds. So not too much to it. We're going to have to stand here for a few seconds at least on the first enemy hit. And then we're going to follow a specific path through here. So we're going to zigzag down and go over to this corner here. Again, make sure you're tapping your Tempest Rush occasionally. And we're going to this first set of elites here. And we can activate our Blinding Flash near them to deal more damage. Reactivate our Epiphany. Make sure we're staying alive here. That should take that out. Took a little bit longer than I'd like on that set there. And then we're just going to make our way down over here to the next set of elites. Activate Blinding Flash on them to get more damage with a stun. And then we want to make sure we take out all the elites here. You can stand inside of that circle for some more damage if you need to. The Oculus circle there. And there is 2 sets, so make sure you're getting all of those orbs there. And after doing that one, we're going to start zigzagging up. And we're just going to make our way kind of towards the center. Remember to reactivate your Epiphany on cooldown and to tap your Tempest Rush. Now you can hold it down to get through the enemies, but I found that once you do that, you tend to run out of spirit really quickly. So I'm just tapping it because it's not a huge boost in damage. There's our next set of elites there. So we're gonna sweep over to them, but we want to go up here to get this pylon first, which is the whole reason we came here in the first place. And then now we're going to take out the orb guy over here. Let's see if you can get him to spawn this with orbs. There we go. We are racing against my own time here. So I completed it with some time to spare. So don't worry if it's looking a little close on the timer there. We should be fine. And believe, yep, one more set of elites here. So make sure you grab these on the way out. And I almost missed this guy. Very hard to see. All right. And now I think there's one more set here by the door as we go out. We've got our max stacks for our Sweeping Wind here. We're going to reactivate Epiphany here. Hit him with a blinding flash. And we can stand here and just spin around in circles. There we go. Let our spirit regenerate. We got another set here. That took care of that guy really quick. This is a nice and relaxed build to play here. We're not pushing too many buttons at the same time. We're going to go up this way. Make our way over to the next room here. Can't remember if there's elites over this way, so I'm just going to take a peek real quick. There is not. I'm going to make sure we constantly have the Sweeping Wind fully active there. And trying to use a blinding flash every time you run into some of the elites. I haven't been doing that as well as I should be. We're just going to go straight here now. I'm just going to loop around the edge of this room because there's a lot of enemies here. And then head up straight. And then we're going to make our way to the exit. Now this is where we're going to run into the most amount of enemies and elites. So there's some immediately to the right here. And we're going to make sure we have our Epiphany activated right off the bat here, because we're also going to need it for the Rift Guardian. So we're just going to try and sweep through as many elites as we can here. We should run into another set down here. Here we go. And that should be enough to get the Rift Guardian to spawn in. So stand in the center of that. There we go. And then try and utilize any Oculus rings that you have on the ground if there is any left over. And then we're just going to kind of tap our Tempest Rush and our Epiphany nearby here. And all of our abilities that we can to blind and flash and deal as much damage as possible here. So this will take a second, but it shouldn't take too long with the gems and stuff that we have active if this guy would stop teleporting all over the place. And there we go. So we shaved off about 11 seconds. Could shave off more if I used blinding flash more efficiently. Then we shouldn't be too high up. Maybe 3rd place here. Let's see. All right, 5th place. So not too bad. We could probably maybe get up to 4th place. I'm not entirely sure here by utilizing some of that blinding flash or making sure we didn't take as long on some of those elites. But I hope this helped you guys out here. I didn't want to over-explain the build. It's pretty simple to run through it here. So hopefully you guys can beat my time. And thank you guys for watching and showing appreciation for the channel here. Have a good one. Bye.